In previous chapter, we discussed normed and Banach spaces. Now, here in this chapter, we will discuss the inner product space, inner product space, and Hilbert space. Inner product space and Hilbert space. So, what is inner product space? So, inner product space is a special type of norm space, special type of normed space. So it is a special type of normed space which possesses an additional property that property is called a inner product space, inner product. So that property is called a inner product. So this is a structural property which is called a additional structure property which is called a inner product. So similarly, Hilbert space is a special type of Banach space which possesses an additional structure property which is called a inner product. The foundation of Hilbert space was laid down in 1912. So the foundation of the theory of Hilbert space was laid down in 1912 by the work of a great German mathematician, Dr. Hilbert. So D. Hilbert on integral equation. So what is the inner product space? So first definition, which is a inner product space. So this is a first definition, inner product, and we can also say that inner product space. So going to start this chapter. So first I am going to start the inner product. So that is the first definition. So which is a inner product. So here I write inner product space. So inner product space. So what is inner product space? Let V be a vector space over a field. So here I write over a field R or C. R is set of real number and C is set of complex number. Now we define a function. So remember, as we define norm, here we define a function. So this is in this form. This is first element, comma second element. This is function from V cross V, because it consists two vectors. So this two field, which is R or C, so this is over a field F. So a function this from field that assigns assigns each ordered pair so each ordered pair x comma y which belongs to v cross v. So each ordered pair x comma y which belongs to v cross v to a scalar x comma y which belongs to field. So it means just understand. So this x comma y vector in tuple form which belongs to x comma y. So this is a functional value. Now this is element belongs to v cross v and this is a element belongs to f. So remember the structure of a function. Now this function is said to be inner product. So the name of the function is inner product. So this function is said to be inner product on V if it satisfies the following property. If it satisfy following conditions. Right? So what are that condition? So this function is called inner product if it satisfies the following condition. What are that condition? Condition number 1. So this functional value x comma x, it is always positive for every x belongs to v. So it is always positive for every x belongs to v. And if this x comma x is equal to 0, then it implies that vector is equal to 0. And similarly, in reverse way, if a vector is 0, then this inner product is 0. So this is the first property of inner product. This is called a positive definite property. Second is conjugate property. So x comma y, this can be written as y comma x conjugate. So this is conjugate for every x y belongs to v. So this is the second property. And the third property, which is of scalar multiplication. So this is alpha x comma y, this can be written as alpha x comma y. So this property also written as, so this can also be written as alpha into xy, which is equal to alpha x comma y for every xy belongs to v and alpha is scalar. So alpha is a scalar. Now property number 4, which is a property of sum, so which is x plus y comma z, so which is equal to x comma z plus y comma z. So this is a sum property for every x, y, z belongs to V. So it satisfies the 4 property. Then if satisfy the 4 property, then the function is called a inner product. The function is called a inner product. The function sector this x comma y is called inner product of x and y. So this is called a inner product of x and y. So this function if satisfy this inner property, so this is called a inner product of x and y. So any linear space which is equipped with inner product is called inner product space. So this V is called inner product space, and the second name is called pre-Hilbert space. So second name is called pre-Hilbert space. So this is a second name of the inner product space, which is a pre-Hilbert space. Now from these definition, we conclude some result. What are that result? So if this function is an inner product space, then we can write it as this is, for example, alpha beta scalar. So alpha x plus beta y comma z. X, y, z are vector belongs to V. So by using some property, this is a first vector, this is a second vector. By using some property, this can be written as alpha x comma z plus beta y comma z. This values. Now using the scalar property to this, so this can be written as alpha x comma z plus beta y comma z. So what we conclude that? We conclude that a combined property alpha x plus beta y comma z, which is equal to alpha x z plus beta y z. This is a combined property of the sum addition as well as scalar multiplication. Now we find the result when alpha is taken from the first side, from the first vector. So what will happen if alpha is on the second, attached to second vector, as in this way? So this can be written as, now using the conjugate property, so this will be alpha y comma x, this values, and by using conjugate property, now using scalar multiplication property, alpha yx and conjugate to entire term. So this is alpha conjugate and y comma x conjugate. So this is alpha conjugate. So this term is x comma y. So it implies, this implies x comma alpha y. This is equal to alpha conjugate x comma y. So this is our result. So when scalar is taken from the second vector, then it is alpha conjugate. When it is taken from the first vector, then it is a simple alpha. So that is the result of this way. So similarly, in the case of if the sum of linear combination, that is in this way, for example, if I write x this is a x vector, and alpha y plus beta z. So this is alpha y beta z. Now this value by using the sum vector by taking conjugate. So this can be written as x comma alpha y plus x comma beta z. Now taking alpha outside, so this will be alpha conjugate x comma y. Similarly, beta conjugate x comma z. So that is the way in this we can solve these property. So this is a inner product. So it is also called a 1.5 times linear. So this inner product space is a SES QUILI linear, which means it is a 1 by 2 times linear, 1 by 2 times linear, right? So this is the inner product is of this kind of linear. Now again, what is Hilbert space? So complete inner product space is called a Hilbert space. So that is the definition of Hilbert space. So we will discuss later on. So just discuss the definition of Hilbert space. So what is Hilbert space? So just understand an inner product space, inner product space which is a V, and this comma this inner product space is said to be Hilbert space. Hilbert space. It is said to be Hilbert space. If this V is complete with respect to norm. So with respect to norm, this is norm of vector x, which is inner product x comma x raised to power 1 by 2. So this is a inner product. This is a complete with respect to norm given by in this form. If field is real, then it is a real valued Hilbert space. If field is complex, then it is complex valued Hilbert space, right? So remember, so if field is real, so in that case it is real valued Hilbert space, and if field is complex, so this is a complex valued Hilbert space. Hilbert space. It is a complex valued Hilbert space. So remember that. Now next property, the next result, the next theorem, so which is very important. So this is called as Scavarge inequality. inequality. So this is very important result. So in the examination, this result is asked as state and prove Cauchy-Schwarz inequality or Schwarz inequality. So first understand the statement. If x and y, these are two vectors in a inner product space. So x and y, two vector in inner product space, then it satisfies inner product x comma y, its absolute value less than equal to norm of x into norm of y. So this values, and this equality occurs. So this equality is occurred if and only if these vector x comma y is linear dependent. Linear dependent means dependent, linear combination to each other. So this is a statement of this Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So first I am going to start the first part. So this part. So first prove this part, then we will get the second part. So if y is not 0, so proof of the result. If in that case, if y is equal to 0, so we have nothing to prove. In that case, norm of y which is equal to 0, also inner product of xy and inner product of x comma 0 is 0. So this is 0. So it means equality occur. So in the given condition is satisfied. So in case of equality, left hand side is 0 and right hand side is 0. If you have some confusion about this, okay, how this is equal to 0, then understand this x comma 0, this can be written as 0 comma x conjugate. This can be written as 0 into this is 0, and also you can write it as comma x conjugate. So 0 into some vector, if you write some vector, so it may be 0 into y, suppose conjugate this values. So 0 taken outside as alpha, so this is a y comma x conjugate. 0 into this value is equal to 0, right? So that is the justification about this value equal to 0. So that is a very simple result, but sometime we need to understand such very small kind of result. Now the main result is if y is not equal to 0. So in the case of y equal to 0, we prove the result, but my aim is for y not equal to 0 at this stage, and for any scalar alpha. So for any scalar alpha, we know that norm of x minus alpha y norm square is always positive. So we know that this is a always positive. So write it as equation number 1. Now find the value of this norm square. So from the inner product space, we know that norm of x square is equal to inner product x comma x raised to power 1 by 2. Ja, we can say that norm of x square is equal to inner product of x comma x. So this norm of x minus alpha y whole square, this can be written as, by definition, x minus alpha y comma x minus alpha y. This take this term as a sum and this taken as a single term, single vector. So this will become inner product x comma x minus alpha y. Second is minus alpha y comma x minus alpha y. So this values, right? So we can take alpha outside. So from this can be taken at x minus alpha y minus alpha y comma x minus alpha y. So this value is of this kind. Now from this just take, it is single term and this is a sum vector. So this will be x comma x minus, this is minus x comma alpha y, and here minus alpha is outside, so this is in bracket. If it is in bracket, so this will be y comma x and minus y comma alpha y. So this is in bracket, right? So this will become x comma x minus x comma alpha y minus alpha comma y comma x minus minus plus alpha into y comma alpha y. This values. Now we will take these term outside. So here x comma x minus alpha conjugate x comma y minus alpha y comma x plus alpha into alpha conjugate, which is alpha whole square, into y comma y. This values. Now again from this simplify by using the definition. So inner product x comma x, which is by using definition norm of x whole square minus alpha conjugate alpha conjugate, and here it is x comma y. So if it is x comma y, so just write alpha conjugate x comma y minus alpha y comma x plus this alpha whole square norm of y raised to power 2. So this is equation number 2. So we know that from equation number 1 and 2, left hand side is greater than equal to 0. It means this term is positive. So it implies what we get? So it implies norm of x whole square minus alpha conjugate inner product xy minus alpha y comma x plus absolute value alpha whole square norm of y whole square, so which is positive. So this condition is true for every scalar. Now suppose this is equation number 3, suppose. So this equation number 3 is true for every scalar. So we can substitute any value in case of alpha. So putting alpha which is equal to inner product x comma y over norm of y raised to power 2. So I just substitute this value in equation number 3. So what we get if I substitute this value in this case? So I get, it implies, so just write a notation. So which is a norm of x raised to power 2 minus alpha conjugate. So this is x comma y conjugate over norm of y raised to power 2. Why its conjugate is itself? Because it is a real number. So norm square, which is a real number. So if it is a real number, so its conjugate is itself into x comma y. So substitute value of alpha. Again alpha is x comma y over norm of y whole square, and y comma x can be written as x comma y conjugate plus next term. So which is alpha square. So x y raised to power 2 over norm y raised to power 4 and into norm y raised to power 2 greater than equal to 0. So this entire term is greater than equal to 0. So simplify. Alpha into alpha conjugate, alpha square. So remember that. So this is norm x whole square minus this is absolute value x y this whole square over norm of y whole square minus this is x comma y whole square over norm of y whole square plus absolute value x comma y whole square over norm of y raised to power 2 greater than equal to 0. So this values. Now from this term is cancelled with this term. So what we get? So we get this minus this greater than equal to 0. So clearly, so absolute value of x y whole square which is less than equal to norm x whole square into norm of y whole square. Why? Because it is this norm y is non-zero. So we can write it in this way. So this can be written as x comma y inner product, and this is less than equal to norm of x into norm of y. So this is a Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So which prove our first part. So what is our first part? So my first part is x comma y inner product. So this is a less than equal to norm of x into norm of y. Now again in the case of equality, so in the case of equality, so case of equality, so what will happen? So in the case of inequality, inner product x comma y, which is equal to norm x into norm y, this value. So just understand, so this value will become a 0 if we understand the previous result. So this is a, so this from this, if both are equal, so this term will be this and this cancel to each other. If they are equal, so the total term is equal to 0. So we already find that the norm of x minus alpha y in the previous part, which is equal to norm of x whole square minus x y inner product whole square over norm of y, so the whole square. So that we find in the previous result. So if I use this result, so this term will be 0. If this term will be 0, so norm of x minus alpha y whole square will be 0. And similarly it implies x which is equal to alpha y. Norm is 0 and x is alpha y. Similarly, we can reverse the process. So in case of inequality, x and y are linear combination to each other. So if it is a linear combination to each other, so it means this x comma y vector, this vector is a linear dependent. So remember that in the case of equality, xy vector are linear dependent. If xy vector are linear dependent, so they are equal. So that is in the case of equality. So which prove the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So remember in this result we used this concept in many times. So this will x comma x. So remember that norm of x whole square which is equal to inner product x comma x.